Okay, welcome to you all on this program. Today's since yesterday, I think 12-13 organized in EIT, and the objective is different sessions going on. We are responsible for food and agriculture sides, so I welcome you all here in this. And actually, the expectation was more industries, so I'm not sure. For me, I have been just traveling. I arrived last night 1 o'clock and preparing my slides in the plane, whatever I have time. Okay, so I will not go to the details of these slides. We are expecting from CP1 person to be here, but I just came to know that he just cannot manage to come. So apology from them as well. Actually, in earlier program, there was one from Pitagro, one of the marketing senior officials supposed to come, but he already was here and starting program because he could not make today. So it's okay for us. I know many of us we know, and I see my students are coming, at least room to fill. So good. Okay, I will not go through these slides. I will start with myself, and then we have colleagues Dr. Abhishek Datta, who is Associate Professor in Agriculture Systems and Engineering, and I have one Dr. Locke. He is Assistant Professor in Food Engineering and Bioprocess Technology, who can just brief about the works, what we have been doing, and what is our expertise. So without delay, I will take XCI that my idea was little bit here. I have given the technological aspects, what the industry might be interested in future, what is the future prospects of there. So I will not go to detail on those things now today, but what I can see what we are trying to work in our labs or working in EIT from all aspects, especially on the food, that the trend has been now changed of so there is a traditional way of developing the food is having little value now. So in the past, what I mean, okay, you have processing, making the food, and then thinking, okay, the quality needs to be little bit improved. Okay, this instruments machine has to be designed, and you make, okay, the heat system not working, develop another heat system that will work. But now that is not only the industry is, because the consumers not like only that one. Consumers has been now the generation change, and consumer perception has been changed. Consumers are more looking towards high nutritional value, and for that my main is the food is becoming itself now medicine. So the food has to be developed as medicine. As you know that there are a lot of problems coming with the synthetic medicines. By consuming, there are a lot of side effects. So there is another switch. So now in between there is a came called nutraceuticals as well, and that affects a lot for that. But what nutraceuticals coming from where? It all coming from the raw materials of those food actually. So that gives the value. So if you see there here, generally what is our purpose? Now still we are like, there is a quite vast difference between the Western and our in the nature, eating habit, behaviors, everything. Okay, the people have been, the Western has been already changed. They have their thinking more. When they see the label, they look for what is the nutritional values of that, rather than looking at what is it made of. So they're not looking for that way. That makes a lot of impact. Now, but the same scenario, even many of us having problem to even reach to the full food, but still we are looking now, if it is good, we have the good food value. Okay, the value having the good food. So that makes a lot of changes, and if you see that this pyramid, everybody knows that, and we should follow that one. But we have a still mindset to eat. So eating behavior is a lot different, right? Then cooking behavior, cooking styles, a lot of difference. Like when I teach, many of my students are here. Always we discuss about starting about why Japanese people survive 100 years, right? And there is a very much nice that they eat a lot of fish. That's why. At the same time, the people ask question, why Bangladeshi only survived than 50 years? right? Dr. Zakir is here. Okay, so there is a question also coming. They also eat every meal fish, like our colleagues here as well, and we also eat lot. So that's not, because the trend, the Japanese eat raw fish, simple, right? They don't cook even. You go there in supermarket, I mean the restaurant, they cut in front of your fish and give the eat. I have also tried actually, but not difficult because we don't have habit to eat like that way. But in our case, what we fry, we need for the taste, but they look for the nutritional value. So that makes a lot of effect. But now the change is making, the industry is looking for that. So industry is trying to get value from there, knowing the perception of the people and changing that one. Okay, so that's my purpose, and that we should, our aim as a science as well, to develop such type of, I mean the technology or the values that can feed the value for the people. And that's purpose. Our labs at this moment, we are trying to work on that more secure and more safer. And you can see there what is the problem coming there. The day by day we are growing, not growing in the size only, but everything growing, and the people, these generations should have more better life rather than getting worse life. The first thing now, again, now Japan is facing problem itself. They cannot eat the raw sushi after a few years, I can tell you. The problem is no more secure water. The water is contaminated so much. In the past, Japan's seafood was very safe. Nothing contaminated by those industrial byproducts. But now it is already contaminated. And one of the example is the recent tsunami there brought this all radioactive compounds, which is already contaminating the seafoods there. And that makes the bigger issue, whether we should eat coming those seafoods from there or not as a raw, right? Only heating or other things, materials they can save from you there. So they will be changing right there. So they have to find the technology now, not to eating that raw fish, something else. Okay, so there is a need of changes, right, to get the best. A lot of ways the industries. Okay, welcome to you. I think you're from
I'm a herb manufacturer.
herb manufacturer.
Herbal product manufacturer.
Okay, good to see. We have one from herbal manufacturer, and one we have from food manufacturer, United Food, right?
Yeah,
okay.
food industry.
Food industries. Yeah, United Food Industry, and then the many of us from EIT, and with the colleagues here. Okay, so welcome to you. We just started. I'm just giving the view, and right time came. We're talking about the values of those things, what we have the resources there, and adding what will be value. For me, is the food from the food products or any they are getting. So I'll not go to details on those things what we are doing, but what I say that, like again here, this is the same thing what I was telling. One way the traditional foods have been developed. Okay, that's looking for those the quality to improve. While you can see the right side, that is the aim now. Novel technologies, there are much more novel technologies has to be introduced, which can give the food as a more value. As for me, it's a food, like bring food as a medicine itself. Not only food. Now food contains many things. So get from the food those value compounds and make some product which can be used as medicinal values. Like either it is come from the food processing waste or itself from the food we can extract, because you know that when we cook, we destroy many of the good things there. So rather than letting destroy, if we can extract from there, you have a lot of values there. And then I think, like if you get just example of the cosmetic industries, they have been doing the same thing. And that why cosmetic industries, if you compare food industries and cosmetic industries, cosmetic people are more richer actually. They are using tiny compounds but getting a lot of values, a lot of money from there. That is the one way industry has been growing in cosmetics. Okay, but so food people now trying to think same thing, getting one food, another is the nutraceuticals, which is getting extract from those the food products and making the values there. So that is the one, not to quality, but making the novel applications of those. That's my idea actually, and I think we should work. And this, I put this slide, you can see here. Now the pharmaceutical industries, right, is trying. If you see many of the pharmaceutical industries, if you go supermarket, not what is that called, this the pharmaceutical shops here, many like Boots or similar type of other shops, you can see there, they have many more supplementary products are there, right? More than now pharmaceutical products, they try to highlight fish oil, they try to sell microalgae products, they try to sell getting the bioactive peptides, many more minerals, vitamins coming from the food products itself. And there is a market. So they are not surviving now only with selling the antibiotics or selling the other type of medicines. So they move towards all the big industries, the pharmaceutical industries, moving towards where you have more values, right? And if you can see this graph is saying, now food is getting from here, coming to the functional foods. Pharmaceutical industries, drugs are coming towards to the more supplements. The herbs is another components, which is not direct food, but they are the resources, heavy natural resource we have in our region. We are very rich on that, and that has a lot of values. That has been still underestimated, not has been used too much. We are very high potential in the region, whether it is all over Asia, I can say, whether South Asia or Southeast Asia, all the region is very rich, right? Like in Thailand, yes, there are 32 herbs have been purely identified. But if you see there, how many we can commercialize? Very few, right? So it needs to be a lot of work to be done there to come up. But there is a generation coming which will make the pharmaceutical industries to bring there in that one. And you can see that the food will be valued much higher when you make more functional, more healthy. You have bigger market, right? You can export it much better in the larger groups of the people, right? And I gave you one simple example. Okay, that's for, again, I give to my students as well example, but for the industry as well. Simple experiment we did. If you know the bitter gourd. The bitter gourd is vegetable, which is very bitter in taste. Okay, the people don't like, but bitter gourd has one compound, it's called charantin, which is similar like insulin. So it has been already found the value. This charantin has effect similar like insulin to reduce. No, just delete. It's okay. It has a similar value like insulin, so it reduces the blood glucose level. If it has been found. If you consume, but it's not like a medicine. It gives like a preventive measures. But it's a compound. If you extract, make a tablet capsule, you can eat, it has the similar effect like insulin. But it's not exact the insulin because there is a little difference, but it does make like effect. So in with my student project, what I did is, because she has the factory which is canning of this bitter gourd, mechanic industry. So it isn't just came, and the company has been exporting this canned product to Europe and US and Japan as well. Now you can see that we hesitate, we have so much bitter gourd we don't like to eat here because the taste is bitter. But the people who have known that resources, they are buying from us as a can. But the company is clever way, asked to do the job to find out, because in the canning you have to go little high temperature to the retorting temperatures. So whether this compound is still destroyed or not. So we did not do anything too much work. We just look for charantin compound extract from there before and after. And after the canning, after particular periods, checking there. And what we found is 80% of charantin is still surviving, no problem. And you know that just put on the label that charantin is active in the canned product. Their market increased 200%, simply. Okay. Now, as a scientist academician, I did not get anything, but the company grew 200% itself with it. So that value is coming more now. Okay. And that is the now the generation, because even we are not eating here too much. It goes to, and you know, the last year there was a big conference only on bitter gourd in India. So the value is not now remaining in the Western, but coming to the safety, because they want to get that products. So insulin you don't have to synthesize or getting from the the industry, pharmaceutical industries are making. That has the game. One example. So there are many more things are there what I try to put in my slides as well, some of the works we have been doing. I will not go all details, but I can give you one example. What I did is from okay, from here, the mango stain, I was just mango stain, I was just giving example to this afternoon when I was talking with her, where we got the mango stain, the pulp everybody eat, so it's good, very nice taste, but you see the cover, the peel outside doesn't look beautiful, but if you open it, inside it's beautiful. And beautiful is because the color is beautiful. That's called purple color. And when it is purple color, as food scientists or having nutritional value, everybody knows it contains high amount of very healthy compounds, that's anthocyanin, or polyphenolic compounds. Those are compounds and very high. So what we did is, the people have been, if you see the cosmetic industries again, they have been already using in cosmetics without knowing too much value. What they say is this has antioxidant effect, means anti-aging. So they make the skin as intact. That is the purpose they have been using. Because they know that when you have antioxidants or anti-aging, that one, that keeps life. So without knowing too much value, they just add in the cosmetics, and when there is this compound is added there, the normal, and that is almost 100% increased price that is coming there. But what we did is here we extract that compound and get to know the value of that, what is there. So there are two ways we work. One is the food science, another I was looking for the two different projects, another was looking for health values. So we also look for that, and interestingly, we found the compounds as well. You can see this is one. Okay. And although a lot of compound, I don't go to details on the data, but what I can just show you there, for me to interesting to show you that, okay, this value. We look for the cholesterol reducing behavior, and if you see there, it shows that the cholesterol was reduced by 50% of using at particular concentration of that one. And we have the other, even looking from the pulp as well, the pill getting those anthocyanins have much higher value than eating the pulp itself. Or we compare with the compound, similar type of compound which the industry has been already working, compare with that one as well, and that shows the much higher value. So it shows that there is obviously we need to do more work on that, but like in the food sites, the simply one master thesis project another student did, that we made the ice cream, right? And that ice cream is getting the good nice purple color as well, and having, I can't claim directly that it is healthy ice cream, but it's better than having normal ice cream, right? Some healthy as well. Some value is there because it gives. So there, this type of has much more impact. We have the resources, there we can get value, right? Another challenge is here, because we know that most of the pills or this type of compounds does contain some anti-nutritional factors, anti-nutritional compounds. We need to separate that one. That is the one component, right? Now you can see that many herbs, I come to the herbs, I have not put any example of herbs, but we do work with the herbs. Sitting side with you is pharmaceutical, but now more becoming like herb expert as well. It's my PhD student. He's working on that. He has found with the gum arabic, right, looking for antibacterial effect as well as looking anti-malarial effect. So we have success in both, actually looking for that from different parts, from the bark, from the leaves as well, and comparing. And recently we have been doing with Midol, the central lab, their export lab, for the anti-malarial effect, and this is showing positive as well. So such type of works working there as well. But if you see that herbs as well, you can't say directly that all the herbs are beneficial. Every parts of the plants does contain some anti-nutritional or the toxic, or you can say not directly toxic, but some anti-nutritional things are there. So that has to be somehow purified to bring in the bigger market. Right? Like whenever I go to the conference or anywhere giving the talk, and when we present, like suppose claiming that we have these compounds, it has a lot of value. Okay, the values obviously there, but it asks whether it is highly purified or not. Yes, we can purify. There are the methods which can be purified, and it gives much higher value as well. But there are in the markets a lot of products which might not have been purified in that one, right? Which might not have been, but they are selling. But they are because you know that one medicine to bring to the market, it takes 5 to 10 years even. It's not a 2 days off. But we have many industries around in our region which can produce the herbal drugs in 2 days. No, but that's not the scenario, because and then something happens we don't know, because it can accumulate those toxic materials. Right? Even if you take simple example of green tea, right? We are talking green tea is very healthy. Everything is good there. It does have high amount of antioxidant polyphenols, but it does contain some amount of tannin as well. Tea similarly contain high amount of tannin as well. Okay, the tannin we cannot digest, just for information. Tannin need to be detoxified by our liver, certain enzymes produced there and come through the extract run, go through, because we don't need tannin. We don't have ability to digest it, get utilization. So it has to be removed. If every day we have a lot of tannin in our body, that will become the toxic. So there is a need of the technology advancement to think how we can improve those products as well. There are resources, that's I'm emphasizing again. We have a lot of resources. What we need, the industries, and as a scientist, as a science, our job to look for advancement, how we can make that we can bring to the value that industry can use, and industry should think on that way, how you can utilize your own resources, what we have around, to get to the bigger market, and their economy foster as well. And so there is a need of to win-win situation where we need to work together. I think that's the one of the point key I to put value. Okay, so this was one example. I think I will not go too detailed examples. Another, okay, I'll not keep here. Okay, this I can make you another one example. What we did with one of my PhD students, the turmeric. You know the turmeric. Now again, which is the people like in South Asia, turmeric is very commonly used as spices, put in the many we eat there. But there is not too much value as such to eat. But the turmeric has a lot of potential that everybody knows. Now even you can buy turmeric capsules somewhere, right? It has been used antibacterial, right? It has the value. It is antioxidant again. Okay. Here what we do is look for the purpose was if any interest comes to make turmeric beverage. That was the interest one of the companies showing if you can make. So turmeric beverage, if you have the turmeric itself, is very bitter to drink, not can drink. You add sugar. When you add too much sugar, then calories increase. So same time you make the healthy products, but on the other side you are giving to people to become more, having more calories, right? So become more, not what? August? What will become? Okay, so that on that way what we did is there is a concept. You have now take a little bit the good bacteria, which is the probiotics, which is healthy. All the people now everybody knows. Okay, probiotic is not new thing, right? Probiotic is the good bacteria which has been eaten generation to generation coming in yogurt. But one of the smart guy in Japan who produced Yakult from there, and he become billionaire within a year. So sometimes you have to be a little bit smart, like Bill Gates, use others and make yourself rich, right? So you have to think like that way. So same Japanese company make the Yakult with the probiotics what we have been eating yogurt. I don't know how many generations. If you see the history is not this generation, many generations, our people have been using yogurt eating every day. So it was not new. But what happened, the concept was brought very new. The product was brought very special type that people like it, and people thought the value because the company make the, I can say, propaganda like this has a very high value, and people trust that one. People start, now Yakult is everywhere. Yakult is no more only in Japan. It's become the global, everywhere there, right? And that probiotics is now, many more products are in the market coming there, because the people know the value there, and this has truly a lot more value there. Okay, with this probiotic here, we did little bit different here. We ferment the turmeric with the probiotics. The bacteria we isolate from the because this turmeric was organic, getting from the Chiang Mai region, the specific farm from there. We isolate the bacteria, lactobacillus from there itself, and ferment with that one. The beverage was made. Okay, it was not so easy for 4 years, 5 years project to develop that one. We are success, and the last trial was doing the animal study as well, to looking for antioxidant value. So there we did a lot, but it was found that if you have the fermented turmeric with the probiotics, or if you make the capsules with the probiotics plus turmeric, has more higher value than giving only, because the blood value in the rats, it shows more. Okay, I have one. Okay, yes, this one showing there, much more higher, both with the probiotics plus turmeric, or turmeric beverage which is fermented with the probiotics, giving high antioxidant. Like this is the value in the rats. So this is done in the animal study, and that's also. It shows that a lot of potentials of such type of works rather than having alone turmeric. So this is one example actually, like in previous slide was showing, right? So we are more still far more work to do this type of works, and industry needs to grow like that way as well. Okay, that's again emphasized. So there are a lot of values to be done. Okay. Now again, one example comes in my mind always when I talk about the fermentation. You know that obviously the fermentation has a lot of value. In our region, we have so many fermented products, right? But can we think that why we cannot make it in the global market? All right. When I go to the Nepal and talk, we have so many fermented products, from vegetables to the meat, from fish, but we never think that from one village to another village even go. We produce and that. But how one guy in Korea become now billionaire, he become the kimchi man, because kimchi is global everywhere, right? So that one guy just produce fermented kimchi with the cabbage leaves and make it every kitchen. Everybody's dining table, the kimchi is sitting there, right? We are eating. But we never see from Nepal, is very popular, is gundruk. But I talk when I go to the ministry there, talk, right? They may tell that you are also Nepali, why do you not do yourself? Asking someone else to do also. Can be done, but then I request industries to come up like that. And we know our government very well. So the industries has to come and bring this type of technology, simple technology, nothing to do there. I mean, you see that kimchi, there's nothing there. Just the cabbage leaves, and those cabbage leaves are very waste, because they cannot use because shelf life is 3 to 4 days maximum, the cabbage. After that, even you put in the fridge, start rotten. It will go, you have to peel and it will throw up. So collecting all those peels, the guy, and he start fermenting with this called yeast or good bacteria or the mold, and fermented, and he showed that this is the value. And it was not, he did not do anything new. The rural areas of that Korea has been already doing that work. Many places have been already doing. So this was, technology was there, only technology has to be bring to the industry and make it, and that did it. So we can think on that way to do more work. There is nothing, and the fermentation has another value is all the bigger molecules, whether it is protein, carbohydrates, or lipids, or such type of, that has been broken down to smaller molecules, whether it is small peptides, oligosaccharides, oligopeptides, or amino acids, which can be easily values of this type of compounds. I think I do not go. What I like to put here, one more, which I did, you know, the folic acid, which has very high now value in the, especially this folic acid is deficit in our Asia and Africa all over. And especially for the female, when there is a, before now, earlier, whatever, after conceiving, when the needs get the pregnant, doctor prescribe every day to eat that folic acid capsules. Okay. Now, if you think in the folic acid, high amount in many products, food products, but the problem is either we don't have access, we cannot reach there, even we have there, right? Or we destroy that folic acid. Like suppose many type of cauliflowers, broccolis, spinach is even milk contains, but we cook so much that the folic acid is got dropped down because they're very temperature sensitive and drop down. So we are not consuming very tiny amount coming, and then doctor prescribe, and we have to eat the synthetic folic acid, which has some other effect. Synthetic means you are having some other, because those compounds, the active compound is little bit, and inactive compound, which is the molecules as additive, is too much. Right? It's opposite way. We need active little bit, but getting much there. So that has another effect on our organs, inner organs. So instead of that, if we can increase the concentration of folic acid in food somehow, consumed there, that will give a lot of value. So with this project, I was in mind, because again from the Nepal it came from, so I had one student from Nepal, she was interested in that, so we thought that, okay, the Nepal, you know, there is a one called churpi, the Nepalese who knows very well, it is the hard cheese, but it is very popular in Nepal, churpi, and especially youngsters and the ladies, they like to chew, and once you start chewing one time, it will not finish before 3-4 hours. Yes. It will be remaining in your mouth. And so that a student of mine brought here, and she gave to one of her friend, Indonesian girl, to eat. She could not sleep all night because she doesn't want to throw, but she doesn't want to swallow it as well. So she has to chew all night. Okay? She was telling me other day. But anyway, that's the only. So, but our idea was to increase the folic acid by doing fermentation there, using these probiotics, and increase the concentration, but churpi in the making the churpi, that one hard cheese. But the cheese is the problem there. This folic acid is water soluble as well. So many of the compounds, when we decant to make the after fermentation, getting the sedimentation going out. So we did not do. But what we did is we tested with the fermented milk. You can see, and you can see that they are in the both. First, the dairy milk I'm not showing here, but the dairy milk also increased the concentration by 140% of the value. And then we tested in the soya milk as well, because you know in this region, the soya milk is more popular than the dairy milk. So we tested fermenting the soybean milk as well. It is not like the yogurt, it's just a fermented milk, what can be tested. In the soya milk, we had a little bit difficulty because soya milk doesn't contain the glucose, lactose, so we have to add a little bit there. That bacteria needs the glucose to grow as well. So we add there, that increase. But you can see the concentration was increased as well on 30 and 40%. So these are the technologies, these are the works what I can suggest to industries or that need to work. Okay. Now I will not go in this too much detail. I can just tell you, and I will stop, and then I'll give to our colleague. The probiotics has a lot of health benefits, but there is a limitation. The limitation is, the bacteria cannot survive if high temperature. This bacteria is very good surviving in the room temperature, 35, 37 degrees centigrade. If you increase the temperature, bacteria will die. So the big challenge for the food industry is, because every food has to pass through the high temperature. Whether it is pasteurization, right, or you make sterilization or anything, has to. Or if you put in microwave also, they can break the cells, it will kill. So those bacteria, how to incorporate in the food, if you want to use as a food, functional foods, those bacteria is very, very much challenge. So with this, sometimes that I'm not the scientist like how the people become, but I was having in New Zealand I was before joining AIT, I was in New Zealand in Massey University. So we are having coffee, and I have been doing a lot of work. It's called the encapsulation, means making the small capsule which can make the materials inside inner core and outer cover for many purposes. That was my PhD as well. So I have been doing a lot of works on that. So my director was sitting, we had coffee. He told that, Anil, can you make probiotic coffee? Okay. I tell, okay, it's very easy. You make the probiotic, you have the iced coffee used there, you can eat it. No, I don't want. I don't like the iced coffee. I like the hot coffee, boiling coffee, okay, and that is instant, but you add probiotic. I told that you are giving me, you want to kill bacteria or you want to kill me? Simply that. Because this bacteria will be killed when you put in the heat temperature, that one. But he told that, no, this is for your work. You work, you will get project. And that gives me idea, okay, to work. So without any discussion, I start working on that, okay. I developed simply technologies, working in finding the way to do that one, looking for many materials, okay. A lot of initial works, just tell you a story, how we did the patent lab work. And then, okay, I was the only expert in that lab who is knowing about little bit encapsulation. Nobody was knowing. It's very well-renowned lab. I mean, the center is there in Massey, but everybody was different. Both the directors are expert, one on the animal proteins, another is the dairy proteins, meat protein and dairy proteins, because they are working in the New Zealand is full of livestock things. And I was assigned this. I mean, he didn't assign me to do one coffee. His idea was that make the bacteria surviving in high temperature, that you can use in food. But he was giving example of coffee. I know that one. So that comes from here. So we started working. We make hard. We make the bacteria survive. The capsule system I developed, which can survive 80 degrees centigrade up to 15 to 20 minutes even. But when it jumps to the 90 degrees centigrade, it can survive only 3 minutes. Big jump. Many industries using 85, 90, 95 degrees centigrade for pasteurization for beverage conditions. So that was the story we developed. Okay, but then I have to move from there to here as well. I moved in that time. But in that time we did. Before moving here, there was a meeting. I was just talking like that, similar like a forum. I can tell you. There was around 50 people from industry talking, and I presented that work briefly. Same like I'm talking now. And the evening, 11 o'clock night, I got phone call from my director, Anil, we have meeting tomorrow. Pepsi people are coming to discuss with you about that project. Simple. Okay. Next morning, I was surprised why Pepsi. There is no relation between Pepsi and probiotics, right? Pepsi Cola. But then Pepsi Cola is not only now doing with Pepsi Cola. You can see that Pepsi has many other products are coming, right? They are very good products they are making. Like in the chips, you can see the Lay's products are their products. There's the PepsiCo. So they are already looking for the healthy type of product. So when we had discussion, they told that we want to do project this one with you. We'll be happy to do further works, to develop more works on that, and we can have as much money needs. Okay, we developed. It was money came there. Obviously IP was, and then they were happy to do in the patent. So it has been now, the technology has been already tested. It has been patented for already for like world patent, EU, US, and Canadian patent. So there are a couple of more, then it can be marketed. They are working for that. We don't have to work too much now. It has been patented. So this is the way to always industry and academician. I think that was the good. And now in that context where I was in New Zealand, okay, where the industry was coming to us like here. So that is the purpose here. I think this today's workshop was to make the industry come and have interaction with us. What we have, the technology, what we have done, share with you, and we'll be happy to work together. At least 2-3 industry here, and we'll be happy to do more works, and let's see how we can work together this type of technology. And some works we have done that's easier to transfer and work together. Some we can develop more. So I give examples some of the healthy things, working on different type of aspects there. Different, like one of my students sitting here we are working, that I was talking with her as well. Now she was telling how many, 6,000 or 60,000 eggs she is throwing, using the eggs every day. So one noodle company using 60,000 eggs one day, you can see that how much. So what she is been working, suppose getting the white things, membrane from those eggs, and that is almost 100% is protein there, nothing else. So you get that protein, and we're looking for the values from there. So that is from the waste of the food industries, and looking for the value to use in the food industries. So you don't have to buy from the waste from somewhere else. You can generate your own things which can be used in that one. Okay, so the herbs, I give you one example, but we are keen to work much more on other things, especially for, many food safety, especially on the food sides, what we are looking for more on the bio compounds. We're not looking for the chemical compounds. So whether it is coming from the bacteria, like probiotics, or coming from the herbal compounds, that we are incorporating in our research to do more values. I think with this, I will stop here, and I will first ask if Dr. Locke has anything more to add from food sides, processing sides. You can add there. Thank you very much.